Well, hey, and welcome to this specially narrated video of the 150th birthday of the Talyllyn Railway. Whew, gosh, that took about 10 takes. As you can see, I'm down here at the wharf at Talyllyn, which is one of the terminuses of the station, of the railway. It's a beautiful, bustling little terminus, it really is. Loads of lovely little locomotives like this, just all over the place. You just can't go anywhere without bumping into one, basically, like tripping over one. As you can see there, the Ed Thomas one that's just quickly going past, they've got such a short wheelbase, really short, perfect for this kind of, you know, narrow gauge, windy track, which you get all over Wales. You really do. Oh, just look at that. So many locomotives. I don't know what the exact number is, I should have checked, but I think it could be a bit misleading anyway. One or two of them might have been there just for the occasion. I think a couple of them were there just to help celebrate the occasion. Don't hold me to that though, I'm not too sure. But I know that they had a mixture of gauges as well. As you can see, the track in the foreground there, that's a different gauge to the track that those coaches are on. Those coaches are all 2 foot 3 inches, but that one there, I think that was called Prince. That's not 2 foot 3 inches, that's a different gauge. So back to the 2 foot 3 inches again. Here's Edward Thomas backing onto, I think, the passenger train that's waiting to go out. Just look at those tiny little wheels, and then the tinier little wheels underneath the footplate. Almost as if they forgot to put some extra wheels on. Oh, look, you can see there's Prince, that's Prince. As I say, it's a different gauge. That's the correct gauge, that's 2 foot 3 inch. So Hayden, that can run on the railway. And there's Douglas. Again, I saw that running loads. That was busy all day. Oh, they were all busy all day. It was such a busy railway. Really was manic. So many people, thousands of people. And there's the Talyllyn one itself. Just look at that. How beautiful. So the guard's blowing his whistle. It's time for us to go. Joining me for most of the video, although he's out of shot for most of it, is Andrew Thomas, a guy who got in touch. I'll just wait a moment. Any more? No, I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, no, there was another one. Oh, gosh, whistles all over the place. Yeah, so there's this guy, Andrew Thomas, he got in touch months ago to tell me about the 150th birthday and how it's going to be a mega event, and he invited me down. He said, hey, you know, come check it out, come check out the railway, and I can get you up onto the Footplate if you want, and go behind the scenes and stuff and give you a tour. So, well, I couldn't turn down an offer like that, could I? So I made plans, headed down in the car and parked up, and yeah, spent the whole day just absolutely loving this railway. It really is beautiful. I'm going to do 2 videos on it. This is part 1. Part 1 is mostly going to be footplate footage and behind the scenes footage, and then part 2 is going to be the full line, because I don't actually get footage of the entire line in this. I have to get used to that. I don't actually get footage of the entire line in this video. There's just so much to see, there was so much going on, it was just impossible. So here we are, coming up to the first station stop. This is Pendray. This is basically the workshops. This is the carriage sidings, the wagon sidings. It's where everything happens. It was just amazing to get to see all of this behind the scenes. So thankful to Andrew Thomas for showing me around, basically. It honestly was such a cute little railway that I honestly think I'm going to build a layout based on this. You know, the 009? There's a whole load of stuff coming out by Batman. I just think it would be perfect for projects like this. That's the little signal box just there, I think. Do pop into that later and get a look at it. You can just see some of the scenery in the background there. There are mountains everywhere. Really, well, it's not like as dramatic as the Snowdonian, the Snowdon or the Clanberis mountain railways, but it is still really dramatic. It's beautiful, and you're so close to the sea as well. There's quite a lot of whistles in this video, so I shall try my best to avoid them, but it's not easy. So the train's just coming to a stop now, and I'm about to jump off with Andrew, and we're gonna get a look at Pendray. We're gonna have a look around the workshops, have a look into the sidings where the carriages are stored, have a look at the signal box, watch some trains come in and out. Okay. So there we go. We have got off the train, we have disembarked, delighted, alighted. Is it alighted? I think it's alight. Just look at the beams, just look at the timber in that. That's that's one of the rare shots of Andrew there. Do you know, the best thing about this workshop was the smell. I so wish I could bring that to you. I really do. It just has that smell of oil and grease. And look at this. What do you think Craig would make of this? Now this is a Crew Works. All it's lacking is a 3D printer. There's a shot of one of the little diesel locos. So this is what I was on about. This is where they keep some of the coaches, some of the coaching stock. And this pair here are just so beautiful. They're so old as well. That's one of the volunteers there. The place was just obviously swarming with volunteers all day. So thankful to them all. And there's even some graffiti on one of these coaches that's like over 100 years old or something. Graffiti that's over 100 years old. It's someone scratched some names into the glass or something. Loco coming. Well, train coming. It's a full train. It's not just a loco. There were multiple services running all day, but unfortunately they don't travel very quickly. They do about 15 to 25 miles per hour. It depends on how, depends on the load of the train. And so it can actually take quite a while for the train to go all the way up and then all the way down. Total length of the line's just over 7 miles, which is quite a lot for a narrow gauge railway. That's quite impressive. But it does take a while. I only got there at midday, I'm afraid, because it's quite far from home. So I do get to go up all the way, but on an evening train. And by that point, I'm afraid my camcorder was dead. Going to have to get a spare battery. Just look how smart that locomotive is. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I love the colour, I love the design, I love those alloys. Very stylish wheels. You can see the emblem there on that coach, and there it is again. The emblem is really smart. Beautiful logo. Beautiful coaches, just look at those. So cute. Yeah, you could seriously model this and it would just be fantastic. There we go. Nice shot of the emblem. And just look at this coach. So small and compact, but beautiful, immaculate, absolutely stunning. So well cared for. So here we go, up on the footplate now. So can you give us a guide? Like, what are the gauges? What is what?
Okay, all right. You've got 3 brakes: steam brake, which brakes the engine; air brake, which brakes the train; and your handbrake, which is just basically your handbrake on a car. Yeah. You've got your reverser, which is there anyone that side? Yeah, the reverser is basically like your gear stick in your car. So you've got reverse gear, forward gear the other way, and then just like your gear stick in your car, you've got several notches to like changing from first, second to third. You know?
Yes. Yeah. So as you get faster, you you change it
to make it more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
And this is your go lever, your throttle, if you like.
The throttle, yeah. And these readouts.
Pressure in the boiler.
Yeah.
Blowing off is at the red line. Well, yeah, blowing off is at the red line. And we run in between 120 and the red line. We need to run at 120 for the air pump.
Oh, for your braking, your vacuum brakes.
Air brakes.
The air brakes, sorry, yes, air brakes.
That's right. And that's just your gauge for how much air is in the braking system. You've got the loco reservoir here on the red lever, well, the mucky red lever, and you've got the train pipe on the black lever. Lever? Needle, yeah.
Yes, okay.
And they're your safety valves.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you get to the red line, your safety valves will blow to keep everything safe.
Also compact as well.
Yeah.
And so, what's this one here? That's
your water level in the boiler.
Water level.
Yeah. Not in the tank, as some people say.
Of course, yeah.
Because why do you need to know? Well, why do you need to know over what's in the boiler?
Yeah.
What's in the tank? You know.
Yeah.
So,
it's a saddle tank, isn't it? Yeah. So thank you very much to Andrew there for giving us a fantastic tour of the footplate of Douglas. I think it was Douglas. I'm sure it was Douglas. It's only been 2 or 3 weeks, but I've forgotten already. But yeah, I think it was Douglas. And that one that's Talyllyn. Just zooming in on the manufacturer's badge. Plaque, that's the word. Plaque. Badge. It's a plaque. I couldn't think of it off the top of my head. So, a little bit of light shunting going on here at Pendray. In fact, you get to see a freight train. We run the freight train. We get up onto the footplate and take a freight train back down into Talyllyn, and then back up again, all the way up to I think Bringlass actually, or is it Dolgar? No, don't go that far. No, I think it's just to Bringlass and then back again. So there you can see they're doing a little bit of shunting as this passenger train is about to come through. So this is one of the passenger trains that's not that there, but what's about to come through. This is one of the passenger trains that's just come back from the... Well, it's just done the entire line basically, as far as I know. So that probably set out a couple of hours ago at least. There we go. So what's that one? Oh, I didn't quite catch that. I think that's the train I probably would have been on had I have got there for, 10 or 11 in the morning. But that just wasn't possible. I'd have had to have left my house at about 5 or 6 in the morning to do that. It was quite far away, and the roads are really windy. It does take a while. Oh, here we go. Back up onto the footplate again now. And I think we possibly have got the freight train at this point. I can't remember. Or maybe that's later. But we're about to make our way back down into Talyllyn.
Andre Wharf. Yeah, Andre, thank you.
So as you can see, the line operates a token system, just like most heritage railways. Tiny shot of my trainers there, some old Air Max, just to not have to worry about all the dust and grime and oil and grease. Ah, right, yeah, okay. I don't think we have the freight train at this point, but we do have it later, trust me. So this is just the cutting right before Talyllyn. So you pass underneath this bridge, which carries a main road. Well, not a main road, but one of the main roads in Talyllyn. And then you come out onto the wharf just there. Just look at all the people. Bear in mind, most of them are already on trains. Oh, such a fantastic little firebox, look at that. Proper Welsh coal as well. Really good quality coal. Shot at my grubby trainers again. So here we go into the signal box. We're back up at Pendray again now. For a tour of the signal box. So there's the part of the token system that you just saw. Quite a simple layout really, nothing too complicated. A couple of sidings.
I always confuse them.
Another train. It really was just so busy. Just trying to figure out which one this is coming in now. I can't remember off the top of my head. So I'll give you a little bit of information. I'll give you a little bit of background info on the railway then. So it was actually, I think it was, well, Lay's claimed quite a few famous facts actually. For a start, as we know, it's 150 years old, which means it was built and established in sort of 1865, 1866. It became preserved in 1951. And not only that, but it was the first preserved railway in the world. It was the first railway to be granted, preservation status in the entire world. And I think that is pretty amazing. I still can't believe that, but I looked it up. It's true. It's there. First preserved heritage railway. The first preserved heritage railway in the world. I am sorry for those whistles. Just look at those mountains. Oh, just watch out for part 2, people. I'll do a part 2 in probably a month or two's time, where you'll get to see much more of the scenery, because it is just so beautiful. I just love it there. It's like a giant playground. Honestly, just railways everywhere, and then you've got the beautiful sea and the mountains and caves and rivers. It's like Wales is just one gigantic playground. Here we go. This is the freight train. It's only a little one, really light as well, so we actually got the locomotive up to a cracking speed later. I think we were thundering along at least 25 miles an hour, which is really quick actually, and it feels really quick when you're on a little train like that. So this is the curve just before the cutting. Well, we're in a cutting, but just before the bridge that leads into the wharf. Now, people that are familiar with the of course, yeah. Well, there's the whistle sign. Yeah, people that are familiar with the R.G.E Railway, I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know to be sure. I've never felt confident in pronouncing it, but people that are familiar with the R.G.E Railway from the Thomas and Friends series, you know, the narrow gauge railway that's part of the Thomas and Friends series. This line was the inspiration for that railway. So the track, the locomotives, the characters from that narrow gauge railway within the Thomas and Friends world all came from here. It was all inspired by this. Not only that, but the line inspired the film, the Titfield Thunderbolt. You surely must have heard of that. You've probably seen it. It's a classic film where this lovely little village try and keep their mainline service going. They try and keep their standard gauge railway running. And this railway provided inspiration for that. So not only is it 150 years old, not only was it the first preserved railway in the world, not only did it inspire Thomas and Friends, it also inspired a film. It's just incredible, isn't it? I had no idea that the railway had so much heritage, so much history. You can see there, look at the tracks on the left. You see how they're a different gauge to the ones on the right? Sadly, those locomotives were trapped. Trapped on those sections of track. They couldn't go anywhere else.
By the way.
So back up onto the footplate again. We were taking our freight train back out of Talyllyn now, all the way up to Pendray, and then on to Bringlass, before turning around and, well, running around the train, and then bringing it back again. Well, back just to Pendray. It was so hot stood there, you know. Oh my gosh, it was hot. I mean, it was a hot day anyway. It was really hot that day, really sunny. I was so glad I put shorts on. But because I was stood in the middle, and the driver, Gareth Jones, was just on my right. You can see his hand there as he's just adjusting the regulator. And Andrew Thomas was stood on my left, the fireman. So I was stood in the middle, right by the firebox, cooking. Literally cooking. In fact, at about 26 minutes in, you hear a little bell. Ding! That's it, Will's cooked. Time to eat him. I just love this shot. This is from the footplate of the locomotive as one of the passenger trains goes past.
I was going to put one on the top as well. Right.
So many people. Honestly, thousands of people that day. And that was... whistles again. And that was just on one day. The whole thing ran for 3 or 4 days. So, yeah, gosh. I saw quite a few fellow YouTubers as well. I saw my good friend Philip. He was there filming it, capturing the whole event. I saw Lewis. So he was one of the first people I saw actually. He was there with I think his gran just as I arrived. So big hello to Lewis, big hello to Philip. So yeah, it was great to meet fellow YouTubers. Now that mountain there, that's not Snowdon, but that is Snowdonia. Just look at that track. This is actually one of the. This is a relatively steep incline. This particular section, but our train is so light it handled it easily. Bit of a somber note here. We noticed so much activity going on. The Coast Guard, ambulances rushing around the place. It turns out that some elderly gentleman had actually jumped into the sea to try and save someone. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. But we had no idea. We had no idea. But I'd left it in just as a reminder that you need to be careful when you're by the sea. You really do. Because places like that can turn so dangerous so quickly. So be careful, folks. Enjoy yourself, but be careful. So we just saw a nice shot of that beautiful little diesel loco that they were using to shunt carriages all over the place. And then we finished the video with this beautiful shot of the Garden Railway down at Talyllyn. I had no idea about it until the very end of the day. And basically these little locomotives were running on lighter fluid. So they were properly, heating up the water and creating steam, but they weren't burning coal, they were burning lighter fluid, and you could smell it. It was quite distinctive. But it was so cute, and the buildings were fantastic. A huge thank you to Kez Jones for all the work she's done on this, and for letting me jump onto the train at the end of the day, which took me all the way up to the end of the line and back again. So I hope you've enjoyed that. It's just a little bit of footplate footage, a bit of behind the scenes, a bit of history, a bit of a tour. Do watch out for part 2, where we'll focus a lot more on the scenery and we'll take you right up to the end of the line and back. Thank you for watching.